One of the biggest story of the recent history is when Wright brothers decided to discover aviation. The rest is history. And now when you look at a large plane flying up in the sky, it's a miracle. It's a proof of the technological capability of human mind to put it all together. With us we have Nadeem Anjum, Air Commodore, and a real genius on aviation and CEO of a very, very large operation with multiple big-sized jets and all kinds of aviation equipment. It was such a pleasure and an honor to have you here with your experiences and your skills. Most of us out there know PIA. They all suffer sometime, but sometimes they love it. Running an airline, aviation, or being in aviation business is a very sophisticated art and science. And PIA, the mother of Emirates and Singapore and all those other airlines, sometime, and I have suffered too, runs into frequent problems. And now with the new government, of course, with the new changes, we are all hopeful that something is going to come about. But to have your comments in some capacity, do you think it can be fixed, it will work?
First of all, let me thank you, sir, for inviting me here and to talk to me. And second thing is the kind words you have said about me, that what kind of experience I have. Yes, I have a lot of experience, but still I say that I am just a small student in this aviation business. It's a very big business, and I have been a fighter pilot in Pakistan Air Force, and I have about 4,500 hours, all fighters. And amongst that, I have flown F-16 for almost 1,500 hours. And Allah has been kind, but after leaving the Air Force, after having served for 36 years, I was given a chance by my former Air Chief Marshal Qamar Suleiman to take over this Air Eagle airline, and where I used to have two aircraft, and we started that airline, and I ran it for almost 4 years. And it was a success story that I had done significantly well, I would say. And I made it successful not only in Pakistan, but in the region the aircraft were flying. But sir, the question which you have asked about the PIA, I would say there are three things which matter a lot. First thing is, in the business environment, there are three things which have to be kept in mind, and you will agree with me because you are much more experienced. First thing is time, second thing is effort, and the third thing is money. If you can manage time, if you understand the TSR, time, space, and relationship, that how you can manage your objectives while keeping these three things in mind, you can be a successful person. The second thing is the effort. Now, to reach your ends, you need to have resources. And in that, I will again make a statement that you need to have a right man for the right job. It is not the number of people you pick up, you complete your total, let's say, strength, where they are non-productive, they are not time conscious, they are not task orientated, and they cannot deliver. So if this effort is managed properly, I would say in that the HR is there, your managerial and your administrative skills to administer the functional and administrative skills, plus the operationability where you will be delivering and then you'll be productive, and then you will come out with something very good. The third thing is the money, Ji. Now, the money always plays a very important role. But in my reckoning, I would say money is not that such a big factor. Though it does everything, but if you have the right kind of resources, you can meet your ends by taking calculated risk with professionals and taking the shock of the business for the initial period, and then you will see the results coming very positively.
It's amazing. Whenever we talk to professionally trained, technically trained, like being a fighter pilot, where your entire mind and body is in sync in time and space, and your reflexive action are so well fine-tuned, and your total physical and emotional stamina and g-force and gravity and angles and speed and light, that makes you a person, what we call in our training program, the ultimate warrior, because they have been to the other side of the mountain, they have seen the valley, so now they know how it works. And the bottom line is the money part. In our training, we emphasize the 14 dimensions of business, which are almost aligned to your thinking: the cockpit and the angle and the frame and the distance and the speed and the velocity and the wind direction. That combined forces gives you the trajectory. Business is like flying a plane. So we have always argued that 90% of the businesses are focused on money, and everything drives money. Money's on the top. We say no. If your total framing of the time and space reality and your performance and your connectivity and your emotion, money is a very important part, but it sits somewhere here because it's a byproduct of all your good performance, and it will do that, and it will basically start helping you. Take a look at the super successful organization who produce the best products and they sell them in 100 countries. When they go out and they spend $1 billion for research and development, people have to ask themselves, where did they get this money? They're making this money because they're so streamlined, so successful. They're flying at the 30,000, 40,000 square feet without any hassle, and they know how to fly a plane. So all those organizations, matter of fact, 101 is study of 50 top successful organizations, they'll tell you that money is at the bottom somewhere. It's not on the top. Performance is on the top, but vision, they want to keep the vision, the scope, because if you can't see the scope, you have no idea where you're going. And they put all the energy in making the machines, but they miss that. I love this discussion whenever I sit with, we have in our faculty, Linda Schaefer, wing commander from U.S. Air Force. And it's love to have this discussion. It's all compartmentalized, and it's all synchronized, and it's all responsive. And we try to train this kind of thinking to the mid-sized economy of business. And we are saying, hey, if you can take this vision, and if you look in an organizational form, don't chase money and one single transaction as the end result. You have to look at the structure, that how you structure your business and how you execute it, that will become a machine that will generate money.
Sir, I totally agree with you. And I can share with you some of my experiences.
Please.
You know, I belong to KPKG. And there are people, you must have heard, they have a lot of money. But they do not know how to channelize this money to make it more product-oriented, more productive in terms of, let's say, getting into industrial business. There are two reasons for that. First thing is they are not exposed, they are not experiencing. And the second thing is they do not have belief in themselves. That is the main reason where people fail. If you have belief in yourself that you can do it, and then you can channelize your thinking, you trigger your thinking, the mind will always respond to your requirement. And there is no doubt, and I have a number of examples. There are people who want to spend, but they do not know where to spend. And that is the reason that we are lagging behind, and we are not, we are an agriculture society. We are having the industrial structure, and you are more aware of one thing, that Pakistan has been the architect of writing constitution for Malaysia, Indonesia. They have developed their industrial setup network, where Singapore is standing, where China has gone, and we are still lagging. And the reason is well known to us. We have been discussing, we have been hearing it on the TV, that we are not sincere to the nation. That's the problem. And I can assure you there are good people, but the situation has developed in that fashion that people are reluctant to come and work. They want to go outside and work and earn money and then do something. I'll give you an example, if you may permit me, that Mahathir,
Yes, brother.
when he gave the new education policy in 1979, he called 200 PhDs from abroad of Malaysia, and he asked them, why you are not working in Malaysia? So they gave a very simple reason, that you gave us a stipend of 2,500 ringgit, and we are earning $6,000 outside, or whatsoever the case was. Though economically Malaysia was not very strong, but what happened was, he said, okay, how much you want? They said, okay, we want just $6,000 a month. He said, I'll give you $12,000. I will make it double, but you come and work with us. Now the financial advisor of the Mahathir, they said that Malaysia will, what are you doing? You're paying so much. How you will make the comparison between the rest of the people? He said, don't worry, my responsibility. I will take care of them. I'll give them $12,000, but after 4 years, they will produce 5,000 PhDs for me. And those 5,000 PhDs will deliver to me in the next 5 years, and where we will go. Right. And exactly he has done the same thing. Sure. And
common sense.
Common sense,
our entire philosophy is based on common sense. Now, our entire leadership training is based on self-discovery, because knowledge has lost its power. And we have argued that a couple of centuries ago, by the time you acquire worldly knowledge, you became automatically 100 years old, and you were on your deathbed, and then you said, well, I have discovered the universe, and then you died. And then they wrote a book about it. So this is what that. It took 100 years to get worldly knowledge. Today, it takes 25 years to get worldly knowledge. A 25-year-old today knows about geography and computing and everything. 2020, you're looking at another thing. By 2030, a 10-year-old will have all the information, may not have the experience, may not have the utilization, but would be able to predict financial theories and economical models, translate them into 16 languages with a push button, send it out to all over the globe, and also talk physics and do hip-hop music, and at the same time do some new flash dancing. This is reality. We are of the opinion that the explicit knowledge has no value. It's on the internet. It's on everybody's mobile phone. They have got knowledge that people died for 100 years ago. Now it's available for free. Everything is available. What is missing is tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is bookkeeping, that you can write a book, how to do bookkeeping. Tacit knowledge is soft, invisible knowledge, like how do you ride a bike? You cannot write a book how to ride a bike. When you are in the plane, nobody can teach you how to be a fighter pilot. That's tacit knowledge. Mechanical knowledge is how to assemble a plane. That's the explicit knowledge. Based on this philosophy, we're saying self-discovery is the new global age of learning. If you have an intelligent discussion and a dialogue, mind, the most extraordinary gift of the universe, has an amazing capacity which is untapped, unutilized, blocked, everything. Every hammer, our culture, not here, all over the globe, parents, friends, schools, teachers, they all try to block the mind. They try to block, beta, ye nahi, you do what we have done, and that's how they do it. Self-discovery is through discussion, debates, dialogue. You create those opportunities, and we are saying that it can lift the self-confidence, and it can show them the enlightenment that is needed, because universities are no longer capable of providing business knowledge. They cannot tell you where to invest. They can only give you explicit knowledge. The organization have no apprenticeship program like Germany. The other services and the poverty issues prohibits people to climb up. So all you got left now is with discussion and dialogue. What are we doing here? We are having a discussion dialogue, exchanging ideas with 5,000-10,000 people, and we are transmitting this to different parts and different places, creating the bounce, creating the discussion, because we have capability to simultaneously communicate, train, educate, and give them contents, material, and all that simultaneously to 5,000 people in a particular region. So we can go to Faisalabad and say, all right, let's take 1,000 of these companies and let's put them through the process. And TCS and Oktara and Expathon, we are putting all this thing together on a very fast-track basis. Pakistan has a great opportunity between China, this and that. And also, Pakistanis are smart people. If you go around the globe, you realize it very quickly. They're in the top places and the top locations because they got more opportunity outside and so on. But the fact remains, if they were given opportunity, they'll do it here. We are coming with a philosophy that Pakistan elite or the Pakistan successful businesses are no longer growing at the rate that they were growing before. Somebody would argue it's the market condition. We would argue that these organizations have reached their limit of mental capacity, because until and unless they change it, reorganize it, and use that as a bouncing board, they would simply be stuck in the hard assets. Hard asset is a curse. Hard asset is that if you are making bicycles, you're busy making bicycles, you're busy with all the issues of bicycles, you have no time to think of drones and flying machines. So you're occupied with a bicycle, and then you don't know what else is going on. And that becomes the thing. In global age, it's all about soft power. Imagination, vision, you connect dots, you outsource, you blend, collaborate, alliances. Because the future growth is all about alliances and finding new sources and new markets and new product development, new innovation. But I would love to have this dialogue and carry on. But you have an amazing story. You should write a book. You should really share this with the public. You should bring out your experiences. Country needs people with the organizational mind that you, of course, acquired through your fighter pilot experience and the Air Force training. But you are the living proof. It is your training that allows you. It's that formal training that allows you to do that. It was not because you got a special license to earn money on a special deal that gave you that out of a sudden. It is the capability to execute, capability to decide, capability to measure talent and distribute that talent. Yeah, it's an amazing story.
Definitely. Sir, I think you have explained it very well. I will just share with you something of my experience. And that is that there is one thing which is lagging badly in Pakistan is the cognitive thinking,
Yes, absolutely.
And you will agree with me that we teach our kids, our children, our students what has been written in the book, and they just memorize it and reproduce it. But cognitive thinking is not there, what to think and what not to think. And that is there, the triggering of, when you trigger the mind will always respond, sir.
Right.
You will agree with me on this.
Right.
Like, I will give you example of, I hope you know about India. India, as compared to us, is a big country, has a lot of resources. But I can proudly say one thing, that they were developing light combat aircraft, LCA they call it. They started it in 1984, and they made prototype in 1989, but that could not be a success story for them. But contrary to that, Pakistan Air Force, when you said we are capable people and we are fast thinkers and we are determined, we are committed, and we started with Musharraf Ali Mir, if you remember, the Air Chief of Pakistan Air Force. He was very innovative, he was very, I would say, aggressive in his thinking. When we had the Pressler Amendment on us, when we were absolutely left with nothing, but we could not afford to fly these available F-16s with us, so we went for the alternate, and we went for this GF-17. And by the grace of Allah, and with the effort of the people, I will share with you that 62% of this aircraft is being designed, prepared, and developed by Pakistani engineers and flown by Pakistani pilots. Mm-hmm. So that is the thing, when he gave us the incentive, he gave us the space to think about it on the drawing board, how to develop a fighter aircraft, and people delivered it. And there are 101 examples we had, like Dr. Abdus Salam, Dr. Samar Mubarak, Dr. Qadir Khan. They have done wonders. Even this Imran Khan, if you look at his background, the kind of person he is. I'm very optimistic, Ji, about this thing. The only thing is, if we can address the education, health, and the justice, I think Pakistan, within 10 years, we can be amongst the leading countries of the world.
Of course. Mathematically, it can be proven that all is possible, all can be done. I would love to continue our discussion on the leadership training and transformation of mind in large quantity, because our model is so, you are a living proof of the model that we talk about, that how you train your mind to frame all these soft things, the space, the time, the balance, the this. We use it as architectural issue, like what an architect does, how he designs the building, and then the building is put together. So this is how it is. Air Commodore Nadeem Anjum, it was a pleasure. I hope to continue, and one of these days we will have some other occasion, and I want to thank you for coming down. It was a pleasure.
Once again, I would like to thank you for inviting me. It has been
Thank
a pleasure
you so
with
much.
you, sir.
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Sir. Thank
Good.
you very much.
We'll continue.